But before we do, we have Wex's favorite segment, and it's Wexley Spills the Tea. Wex, what do we got, man? Tell me what's going on. Fill me up.
We got some fucking fermented, funky-ass tea today, man.
Yikes.
So, last week, we were pretty excited about Shane O'Mac coming back to the Royal Rumble. We were laughing about, dude, it'd be so funny if he won the whole thing. And apparently he came backstage and was trying to do that exact thing and was openly bearing producers, apparently trying to book it around himself, which I think is fucking hilarious.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's amazing, honestly.
And caused a lot of problems. Like, apparently it caused a riff with, like, Bad Bunny's intro going in there, his number. So it was announced earlier today that he was let go by the company, and he was actually going to be in the Elimination Chamber match coming up, and he was replaced by Austin Theory, and Shane O'Mac is a free agent.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? You imagine?
Do you think it's a work though? At this point, that would be the biggest press thing to intentionally do, right?
To release Shane?
Yeah, and just be like, hey, let's get everybody talking.
I don't think it's a work. I don't think he's actually released, to be completely honest with you.
It's just ruffled feathers, and eventually down the line probably come back.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, dude, he's a McMahon. I mean,
his
first
dad
of all,
just sent him home.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. It's like, it's like when that asshole son becomes manager for a day. Like, that's exactly what's happening here. Even though he's like 50 something and he should be a grown up and not a total, complete, like, egotistical prick. But to be honest with you, I think that wrestling needs to be more like people like Shane McMahon. I do think that the idea, like, I don't want to be like the Undertaker, where it's like, they should rather have guns in the back instead of like PlayStations or whatever. Like, I don't believe that, but I do believe that, like, more people should be assholes. I do genuinely think that, like, we get the best product from those wrestlers when they truly believe that they are the best and no one else is better than them.
Hey, kind of like Nick Gage. He believes it 100% and he goes out there and fucks shit up. So
totally true.
I get it.
Totally true. What else we got?
So yeah, it's crazy. They released Shane before they would release Mustafa Ali, which is hilarious because he, like, actively wants to be released. Yeah, it turns out the morale was very low in WWE after the Rumble, and same with the Women's Rumble. Even though we'll get into it, yeah, fans have already been glamoring that was the better of the two.
Oh,
so
no doubt.
We'll get into detail, but apparently Tyson Kidd normally produces all the women's stuff for WWE, and he wasn't there. And there's a few women who just decided to not even be in the match because he didn't produce it. And they apparently sent in Fit Finley, and it was still apparently, even though it looked good to us, it still didn't go to plan as like they wanted it to, and a lot of people were not very happy at the end result. But I guess because maybe the men's was so bad, we overlooked it. I don't know. But we'll get into that.
Very possible.
And speaking of one of the people who said no, they offered Nia Jax a spot in the Rumble, and she told them, fuck no. And apparently she says she's only ever injured 2 people in WWE, but we all know that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, we know it's
2? Come on.
No, it's not.
We can name like 5 right now.
In the quote-unquote WWE universe just by being in the ring, so.
Yeah.
So she said she hasn't completely ruled out a return to wrestling altogether, but we would not.
I have completely ruled out a return.
Unless she just went and maybe just if she did some more training, because honestly, I feel like she wasn't in NXT for long, and they just kind of pushed her up because of who she was. She would probably benefit from actually learning how to wrestle. A little bit more psychology there. We know some. You don't
get that first impression again. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, speaking of 2 more people who also turned down an offer, Impact's The Iconics turned down an offer to be in the Royal Rumble too, because they were also offered along with Mickie James. They said no. They said fuck that. And I respect that because they kind of screwed him over. And I think Mickie James, she don't care. She's trying to get that bag, get that cash.
I feel mixed about that, actually. I feel like, Mickie James going in with the Impact Championship, going in as with her theme song. I think if they would have let them both come in with their Impact names as the inspiration with the Knockouts tag titles, and then they said no, then I'm like, you missed. That's a miss. Like, because to me, then it sounds almost, and I don't know. Obviously, it's this is me just speculating. I'm not for sure, but if that is, because I mean they gave it to Mickie, so I don't know why they wouldn't have done that for them. And if they still didn't want to do it, to me, it's almost like it really could have helped your new company though. Like it really could have helped Impact if all 3 of you would have been in there with your titles. It really would have helped, I think.
Herein lies the difference to me, though. Mickie James coming in with the Impact title, with her own song and all of that other stuff. Mickie James' career with the WWE was so much more significant in terms of
for sure,
historically and all that
no
stuff.
Doubt. Yeah,
that makes sense. Even if Mickie James was pissed, I could understand taking that offer. For the Iconics, like, I could understand being mad and not wanting to do it. And,
no, totally. I understand both sides. I'm just saying.
I don't think the, and no pun intended, impact of them coming in under their own names really would have mattered to anybody.
Well, it did help Impact overall because they pulled in their highest TV rating in over a year on the Go Home Rumble episode, which is funny for another company's pay-per-view.
They got like 100 people.
They pulled in the biggest rating since my birthday last year, so guess that's doing something.
Hey, we love Impact too, but that was fun.
Yeah.
I do, but it's just, we're just.
And more news that affects Impact and me and Jesse, actually. Larry D, the last ever Revive Pro Wrestling World Champion, requested his release from Impact, and he's going to be taking more indie dates and doing more traveling. So he's following the footsteps of his tag team partner, AC Romero, in their tag team Quadruple XL. I think that's what it was. Or was it Triple XL? I don't know.
Triple XL, I'm pretty sure.
Triple XL. Two big large guys, but he also got released, so he doesn't have his tag team partner at this point. It makes sense. So maybe we'll see Larry D pop up somewhere around here.
Yeah,
you never know.
He'll
probably be in
that dude can go in the ring, definitely.
He's great.
And so today, February 2nd, 2022, now the full list of free agents from that got released 90 days and some 30 days ago are going to be able to wrestle, including Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Ember Moon, Davey Boy Smith Jr., British Bulldog Jr., Oni Lorcan, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Eva Marie, which she's not going to fucking wrestle, the aforementioned Nia Jax, and Juice Robinson from New Japan Pro Wrestling. His contract also expired today, coincidentally.
So the scuttlebutt that I heard about Juice is that he may still continue to wrestle for New Japan, just not under a contract, so he can work other dates, because not being able to go to Japan is a factor in the free agency.
Yeah, which per appearance makes sense for Japan for someone like that. I see that. Also, fucking awesome sick news. Ricky Steamboat is coming to the MLW Super Fight, and they're saying he's coming as a matchmaker. So I'm not sure if this is like a GM type role where it's going to be like, a kayfabe matchmaker, if he's going to be like straight up booking matches. I think the kayfabe on-screen role is a better, makes more sense.
For sure. That's a much better way to utilize a legend. Plus, to be honest with you, I think MLW there's a lot of rumblings there. I'm not as affluent in their product just because I don't have that channel. Like I don't have cable anymore. It's just the internet. But
you ain't got YouTube?
Yeah, I do have YouTube. I just don't go out of my way to watch it. I'm just being honest here. But I am excited. We are covering Super Fight.
Exposing himself out here, guys.
Yeah, we are. Dude, there's so much wrestling. Guys, just to do this show, we have to watch 6 hours of wrestling a week. That's just for the show, let alone AEW that we want to watch, Impact that we want to watch, GCW, whatever. I have seen MLW matches. I've seen MLW Fusion shows, but I can't regularly keep up with them. I'm excited about Super Fight, though, and I really think that having Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on there definitely elevates the product from a legend status for sure.
I think it's just monumental alone that he is in the picture at all.
Totally.
And matchmaker, especially where Super Fight is, the location makes sense. I think it's fucking great for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What else is on the list, Wexley?
There's all this wrestling that we got to watch, but there's one wrestling video that I did not watch, and that was the Davey Richards porn video that was leaked. Sure you guys heard about that.
Fat.
So turns out he's not actually doing porn. It was a private video, for him and his wife. It just got leaked out because people were speculating on Twitter, going wild, thinking this man is out here doing porn. Which, who cares if he is? Fuck it,
Yeah, what does it matter if he is or not? Yeah.
I could care less. But
it's
honestly,
just a wiener
make
guy.
it a little bit cooler, and he wouldn't have to do the Val Venus gimmick. Which, and apparently he was getting his booty ate in the video. So, good job, Davey.
If you could do the Val Venus gimmick, but it was for real.
Yeah, exactly. Val Venus is fucking crazy now, so no one wants to be really associated with
Val Venus, but for real. Yeah, that's funny.
Money. Hello, ladies.
We'll get there.
AEW tonight, Dynamite, actually happening. We're recording this on a Wednesday pre-Dynamite, so they got some big matchups. We're gonna get the MJF versus CM Punk match. It's highly anticipated.
Yep.
We were gonna get Bryan Kendrick making his AEW debut against Jon Moxley tonight, but apparently some fucking weird shit resurfaced from 2013 where he was like talking about some whack conspiracy theories about how the Holocaust like didn't really happen the way it happened, and the Earth and like the moon is a satellite to Earth. Just a bunch of crazy shit like Holocaust denying, just some off the wall shit that Tony Khan, doesn't want to be associated with, so he canceled his appearance as quickly as he could announce it. So
I'm gonna be honest.
God damn it, Spanky.
That's a shame. It was also 10 years ago, though, man. People change. It's Twitter. You put out a stupid tweet. Like, I'm not saying it's not insensitive. I'm not saying you shouldn't have to apologize for it, but he shouldn't be canceled because of it.
All I'm saying is that he was just working for WWE on TV and shit for them, and they clearly, obviously knew about it. So somebody from WWE got pissed, went there, tried to expose him, and it worked. I mean, they fucked him up. They fucked up the whole thing. So hopefully they have something else in store, because there's lots of free agents tonight. Anybody could be in this match against Mox.
It's true.
Anything could happen. So maybe maybe this is a good thing. Yeah, maybe we'll see something crazy tonight.
Keith
and the
Lee,
only
maybe?
other what?
No, definitely not Keith Lee.
Who?
Who's your pick? Who'd you say?
Keith Lee, maybe.
That'd be hey. I just wouldn't want him to lose to Jon Moxley. That's the only thing, and
whoever comes in is doing the job. Period.
Yeah. So maybe like Johnny. I love Johnny Gargano. He could do the job. Who else is on this list?
Absolute. First of all, if Gargano goes, I said this from day one when I found out he was leaving NXT. I'm not convinced that he doesn't go back to NXT. I think he's just taking time off. Like, I 100% don't think he's going to AEW. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I do not think that he is going to AEW. It just doesn't make sense for him.
Wild card. Karrion Kross comes in and destroys Mox.
Is Karrion Kross clear now?
It's Killer Kross. Yeah, Killer Kross. Yeah.
I don't know. I would rather see fucking like Jay Lethal and Mox.
Yeah, that would also be a great pick. They also have a great roster of wrestlers they could choose from. Jay Lethal, maybe Daniel Garcia. That'd be a good one.
They're bringing more people on.
Yeah. So the only other matches we have for that show is Kings of the Black Throne versus Death Triangle with Pac and Penta El Cerro Miedo, Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So do you guys want to make some predictions for this, since we're too early for Rampage?
Yeah, I mean, Punk's going over MJF. He's gonna get the streak. He's gonna
obviously,
or it's gonna be some kind of shady finish. Those are the only two options. If there is a clean finish, it will be Punk. Yeah. I think we're probably gonna get a shady finish, or maybe even a draw. Just because there's no doubt to me that they're wrestling at the pay-per-view. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. So I actually would say we're gonna get a shiesty finish. But if we do get a clean win, it'll be Punk.
Okay, so we got.
It's a dusty finish where Punk still goes over, but it's because of Wardlow, and then we get MJF Wardlow at the pay-per-view.
Okay, I like that idea. So we're gonna go Mox versus whoever.
Yeah, I like that, but I think
MJF is gonna lose.
I like that as a course.
So who do we got between the Satan guys and Death Triangle?
The Satan guys. I would assume House of Black has to go over.
I mean, yeah, I would say Warped Tour 08 goes over here.
All right, Warped Tour 08 goes over. Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. I'm gonna go Ruby Soho because Nyla Rose has been world champion. It's not gonna do anything for Soho.
Goes over in that one.
Not gonna hurt her to lose to Soho. So yeah, Ruby Soho. So that's the only matches that have really been announced. And I heard that there possibly could be a Ricky Starks versus Jay Lethal for the FTW title, which I thought that possibly could be on Rampage. But if they move it to tonight, I would not be upset.
Yeah.
Either way, if they do move it to Rampage, I'm going Starks.
Yeah, Starks is not dropping the title yet. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he has held the title a long time, and I feel like Jay Lethal does kind of need a boost. You know what? I'm changing mine. I'm going to go ahead and say it's Lethal.
All right, Lethal. That's probably going to be our wild card pick because everything else we pretty much agreed on. So we'll see what happens then. So let's go ahead and get in to the Royal Rumble 2022.